We are living in a time that has a strong focus on opinions and sharing opinions. We have entire businesses, TV shows, websites dedicated to sharing opinions. And while there is nothing inherently wrong with sharing opinions, what I see happening is many of us are in what I call the opinion trap. What if I were to tell you that you are much more than just your opinion? And if I'm not my opinions, perhaps I don't need to defend them in the way I thought I once did. Scrolling through social media, you can recognize that what is happening right now in our culture is people sharing their opinion, their perspective, and it actually becomes quite brutal. I have a very simple question. Is this highly opinionating culture helping us to feel more connected or more distant? Is our opinionating culture allowing us to hear another person's point of view? I once took a spiritual challenge to go 30 days without an opinion. Think about that for a moment. 30 days without an opinion. I want to be really transparent about what happened. I went about 30 seconds. And then I realized that my mind was constantly opinionating. And so even though I wasn't verbalizing my opinion or sharing my opinion on social media, I was holding the frequency or the energy of, I am right. And if I am right, that must make you wrong. Every war, every relationship issue, every issue in the workplace is often created because of opinions that are in conflict. Many of us are at war with ourselves and the world, and we might not even realize it. So what do we do with this? Because people say to me, why on earth would you say we don't need opinions? What I want to offer is this. Our mind is constantly opinionating. I thought the intention was to quiet the mind, to stop it from having opinions. But what I've now recognized is that asking the mind to stop opinionating is like asking the lungs to stop breathing or the heart to stop pumping blood. So I can witness or recognize my opinions for what they are, a point of view, a perspective, and then ask myself the question, is it important that I share this right now? Is this going to bring me closer to the person that I am opinionating at? I think the answer is so simple, it almost doesn't need to be spoken. So I'm inviting you to take a look at what gets created when you have your opinions and simply rest in this question: what else is possible? How much of life is perspective? To me, 100% of life is perspective. Many of us believe that what we can see, what we can taste, what we can touch, and what we can hear is reality. What I want to offer is the possibility that reality is actually created by the projector that comes from us. In other words, we are projecting onto a blank screen. 5 people experiencing the exact same thing will have 5 different perspectives about what just happened. We often hear there's your version, my version, and the truth is somewhere in the middle. I actually don't buy into that paradigm because what I have experienced to be true is that both perspectives are 100% correct. What if we were to recognize that I'm not right and you're wrong, you're not right and I'm wrong? It's simply the way we view the world. Many of us believe that we come to a conclusion by gathering evidence. What I'm offering is the possibility that it's actually the other way around, that we have come to core conclusions about ourselves and the world, and therefore we project that and see it everywhere. So if the conditions of your life, if your relationships, if your work, if what is happening in your life isn't exactly what you want, what I want to invite you to do is take a look at, how am I perceiving this? What are my conclusions about myself, my relationship, my world? What if we could begin to question those core ideas about ourselves and the world and notice what happens? What if we were to allow other people to have their perspective and recognize that we don't have to be right or wrong, that we can simply understand that we all have our point of view and our point of view creates reality? This is the great news, because if it's true that I'm creating what I call reality based on my perspective, I can shift my perspective and therefore shift what I call reality. I invite you to lean into that for a moment. Ask yourself, how am I seeing the world? How am I seeing my relationships, my work? What do you want to see differently? And is it possible for you to clean the lens of the projector and see what happens? Because after all, life is a great experiment. Many of us have been programmed to believe that finding answers is important. Our entire educational system is built on seeking and finding specific answers to problems or situations. Science is often seeking the answer. Religion is often providing an answer. What if I were to tell you that in addition to that, you could also back off of seeking answers and begin to question everything? This has changed my life dramatically because I recognized at some point that if I continue to see the world in the same way, I will continue to get the same results. Nothing changes if nothing changes. And as we've often heard, life begins at the end of our comfort zone. So why is this important? I may have come to conclusions. I may have decided that the answer is this or the answer is that. Perhaps that is keeping us stuck in a particular paradigm or a way of being. So questions open us up rather than constrict. Do you want a life that has more openness? Would you like to open to some infinite possibilities? If so, I invite you to practice what I call living in the question. Choose an open-ended question or two and live in that question. You want to choose questions that are empowering, like what else is possible here? For example, if you are going through a breakup or a loss of a job, rather than saying, why does this keep happening to me? What if you were to say, I wonder what is wanting to emerge here? So you might set a timer for 10 minutes, sit down in meditation, live in a question like, what is next for me? Who do I want to connect with today? Or you can choose a question and ask yourself that question throughout the day. In closing, I want to give you a few of my very favorite questions. What else is possible? How does it get even better than this? Who have I come here to be? What if the world is a kind and loving place? So I invite you to notice if your mind is seeking answers. Perhaps you can pause and open up to the possibility that questions will actually help you step into an infinite and abundant life.